I think expanded access in the AIDS arena was a terrific thing because people were dying very quickly. Excuse me. People were dying very quickly. People would be diagnosed and they'd be gone in 6 months or 10 months. And you had these large expanded access programs because there really was nothing for these people to be taking. And at the time, people didn't realize, how fast the virus replicated. Everybody thought until David Ho's famous paper that this was a very much latent virus and it was just sitting there. And he showed that that wasn't the case at all. And people really didn't have time to wait because it progressed so quickly. And people didn't realize about how the virus replicated and became resistant to the drugs. So people were doing sequential monotherapy. You would use a drug, you would lose the effectiveness because of resistance, and then you'd move on to the next drug. Today we think, well, that would be the worst thing that you could possibly do because the virus could jump one hurdle much more easily than it could 2, 3, and 4. So now 2, 3, and 4 classes of products are put together and the virus stays controlled for a very long time. And people are living relatively normal lives on those drugs. In that situation, those large expanded access programs were fantastic because they bridged the gap between the NDA, the new drug application filing from the company, and the time the drug actually hit the market. And it kept those people alive. And in 1996, when the protease inhibitors were added to the mix, all of a sudden, people who were literally on death's door started to turn around and go back to work and worry about paying the gas bill and the electric bill instead of worrying about, I have to arrange a funeral. And an amazing turnaround. So I think expanded access in that setting was a lifesaver. And I think there are other situations, particularly single patient INDs, where it certainly can be helpful to have the access, but usually they're patients with different types of disease. These are diseases that are not going to turn around that quickly because there's not an etiological agent like a virus that if you knock it out, the immune system, the body recovers. So, but I think that people are so, people become very desperate when you run out of options. And I think expanded access is an option. So I can't say it's not a good thing. I think that sometimes people overestimate what the benefit might be of some of the expanded access uses, which is unfortunate only in that you have dashed expectations when you're hanging all your expectations on this one product. So I don't know that that's a bad thing or a good thing. And I think hope is something that you can't put a value on, and sometimes this is people's last hope. So I think it's a good thing, but I think it's not as effective as it was necessarily with the HIV scenario.